What's up everyone, you got Matt here, and today I'd like you all to meet a good friend of mine, Sohan, aka the OPJellicent.
What's going on everyone, I am the OPJellicent, and I've been playing Draft League format for just a little bit over a year now. Some of the leagues that I've been taking place in are the IBA, the WPL, and the UPC.
We love the Pokemon Draft League format. There are so many different important factors when deciding what Pokemon you want to draft, bring in a matchup, or even trade. One of my favorite things about Pokemon was introduced all the way back in Generation 3, abilities. Abilities can make or break a Pokemon. I'm looking at you, Slacking. Like I was saying, abilities are great. They added an extra dimension that just hugely improved the competitive scene since Generation 3.
Today we'll be going over the top 10 abilities in the Pokemon Draft League format. Keep in mind, these will not include VGC or Smogon tiers. Enough Pokemon must also have access to the ability, so while abilities such as Huge Power and Pure Power are great, we will not be including those in our list. Base stat totals will also not be taken into consideration.
Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to myself and to Sohan. His channel is linked in the description. If you like Pokemon, you'll love the content he creates over there. And when you're subscribed to both of us, it just makes you 10% cooler.
Also be sure to follow us on Twitter and like the video if you enjoyed. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 abilities in Pokemon Draft League format.
Number 10, Prankster. 14 Pokemon learn Prankster, but I'd say the Prankster poster child is Klefki. It's the first Pokemon that comes to mind when I think of Prankster. Either way, Prankster gives status moves a +1 priority, meaning you can be super slow and get a guaranteed T-Wave off on your opponents. Status in league play can be very detrimental to an opponent. It can either prevent you from getting swept, or create an opening for you to go and sweep yourself. It could also just be a general annoyance, and that's always useful. Status isn't the only thing that Prankster can use. There's Dual Screens, Destiny Bond, Tailwind, Recovery and Rest or Roost, if you're a Murkrow. They all see play. Prankster was nerfed back in the beginning of Generation 7, and I'm guessing depending on where you stand, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. The nerf made it so Dark types are unaffected by Prankster moves, and this ability would likely be higher on the list if you were able to use it the same way you could back before Gen 7.
At number 9 on our list, we have Unaware. Unaware is acquired by 9 different Pokemon, and a Pokemon with the ability Unaware ignores all stat boosts of an opposing Pokemon. What makes Unaware so good is that it essentially stops opposing setup sweepers in their tracks. Common setup moves such as Dragon Dance, Calm Mind, and Curse are completely shut down by the ability Unaware, so with the correct investment you can make those Pokemon essentially useless in a matchup. Primary users of the ability, Clefable, Quagsire, and Pyukumuku, are already very naturally bulky mons, so if you're already ignoring the stat boosts, it'll be very hard to break through those Pokemon. That's all there is to say about Unaware. Let's go ahead and move on to number 8.
Number 8, Moxie. 13 Pokemon have access to Moxie, and to be honest, it feels like a lot more. But you look at these Pokemon, there's Gyarados, Heracross, Salamence, Crocodile, all of them behind so many sweeps. Moxie increases the attack stat of a Pokemon by 1 stage after that Pokemon gets a KO. It doesn't work like Soul Heart, where if the Pokemon dies to Toxic and you're on the field, you get the boost. No. It has to be a direct consequence of a damaging attack of yours. For this reason, Moxie is feared in the community because pairing with a Choice Scarf or a Dragon Dance can make it deadly, and it'll also probably end a match within 6 turns.
Coming in at number 7, we have Magic Guard. Magic Guard is an ability that allows all Pokemon that acquire it to ignore passive damage. This includes entry hazards, toxic, and burn damage. Pokemon that acquire Magic Guard are often primarily Psychic or Fairy type Pokemon. All of these Pokemon do not appreciate either status or entry hazards. Sigilyph and Alakazam, both very frail mons, often appreciate a Magic Guard just due to the fact that they can preserve their Focus Sash. Obviously, they do not want to get chipped down into range of priority. Reuniclus and Clefable also appreciate Magic Guard, as they don't appreciate Toxics on their Calm Mind sets or even just their bulky sets in general. Magic Guard also helps out against Leech Seed users such as Ferrothorn and Celesteela. Oftentimes you want to switch in safely and preserve your Focus Sash, and Reuniclus can use Iron Defense and Calm Mind to use these Pokemon as setup fodder, which it otherwise couldn't when its high HP stat is getting drained by Leech Seed damage. That's all there is to say about Magic Guard. Let's go ahead and move on to number 6.
Number 6, Volt Absorb and Water Absorb. This number could honestly be any ability that provides your Pokemon with an immunity, but in my eyes, Volt Absorb and Water Absorb are the best. They provide you with a built-in immunity, and you can get your health back. Better than Sap Sipper, Lightning Rod, Motor Drive, Storm Drain, Flash Fire, and I'm sure there are others. These abilities allow you to repeatedly come in on hazards and take the hit. That to me is where the separation occurs. Boosting a stat is nice, but recovering HP in my eyes can be more valuable in the Draft League format. Anyways, the first 5 abilities we mentioned can be very situational or even be argued for being outside the top 10, but the top 5 that we have for you today are absolutely 100% the best abilities in the format.
At number 5 on our list, we have Intimidate. Intimidate is acquired by 27 different Pokemon, and when a Pokemon with Intimidate switches in, it lowers the opposing Pokemon's attack stat by 1 stage, assuming they do not have the ability Clear Body. What makes Intimidate so great is that it allows a ton of different Pokemon to function as a defensive wall, such as Landorus T and Arcanine, which are otherwise not bulky without the ability. A lot of Pokemon which acquire Intimidate, such as Salamence and Crocodile, also acquire the ability Moxie. This allows these Pokemon to fulfill 2 different roles, either offensive or defensive, making them a lot more unpredictable when the opponent has to prep for them. Intimidate also works really well on Volt turn teams. Pokemon such as Mega Manectric and Staraptor both get Volt Switch and U-turn respectively, allowing them to Volt Switch and U-turn out to each other and continuously lower the opposing Pokemon's attack stat. With all the perks Intimidate provides, it definitely deserves the number 5 spot on our list. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4.
Number 4, Mold Breaker. We've mentioned a lot of good abilities on this list. How would you like to ignore them? Moves of a Pokemon with the ability Mold Breaker are unaffected by the abilities of other Pokemon, meaning you can bypass Unaware, Wonder Guard, Sturdy, Volt Absorb, and so much more. The funny thing is, this ability is incredibly powerful, but it's always overlooked. Who has an answer to a +1 Dragon Dance Haxorus with Mold Breaker? Very few people, that's who. 18 total Pokemon get this ability and all can use it effectively. I honestly hate going up against this ability because a ton of Pokemon I draft have important abilities to their success.
Next up at number 3, we have Levitate. Levitate is acquired by 35 different Pokemon and grants all these Pokemon immunity to ground-type moves, Arena Trap, Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Sticky Webs, and Terrain effects. The ability allows many Pokemon to safely switch into offensive ground types. For example, Rotom Wash can easily switch into Landorus T or Sandor's Excadrill. It could not do this without Levitate. One of my favorite perks about Levitate is how well it counters choiced items. If an opposing Pokemon is locked into a ground-type move and lacks the Mold Breaker ability, you can easily bring in a Levitator such as Flagon or Latios and use the Pokemon as setup fodder. The only downside to Levitate is that it allows Pokemon that acquire it to be hit with Status in Misty Terrain or with Priority in Psychic Terrain. However, that still isn't enough to knock it off the number 3 spot on our list.
Number 2, Regenerator. 19 Pokemon have access to Regenerator, and honestly you should have all expected Regenerator to make this list. The ability is so useful, the community has dubbed the pairing of 2 Regenerator Pokemon as a core. When a Pokemon with this ability switches out, it recovers 1/3 of its max HP. If you're weak to rocks and have Regenerator, you'll still be healing yourself in the process. Having Regenerator is the perfect ability to pair with an Assault Vest, since you still have access to recovery, and you're getting that boost in special defense. In a game with a lot of switching, Regenerator is just so useful, and in my eyes, it was the clear number 1 spot, prior to Gen 7.
Coming in at number 1, we have Beast Boost. We had no doubt in our minds that the Ultra Beasts would have a great impact on the metagame the moment they were added in Generation 7. However, none of these impacts would be possible without this ability. The ability is acquired by all 11 Ultra Beasts, and raises the highest stat of a beast every time it gets a knockout. The ability makes it very easy to clean up Scarfed Ultra Beasts, such as Blacephalon and Kartana. You can even adjust their EV spreads in nature to gain the stat boost you most desire. For example, Max Speed Timid Kartana would get a speed boost despite its very high base 181 attack stat. The ability also enables a couple Ultra Beasts to function very well on Trick Room teams. Slower Ultra Beasts such as Guzzlord and Stakataka can run a negative speed nature and outspeed most Pokemon under Trick Room, while still gaining offensive stat boosts, allowing them to easily clean late game. With all the benefits Ultra Beasts gain from this ability, it is no doubt one of the best, if not the best ability in Pokemon Draft League format.
Anyways, that's our list. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and share the video as well. Also, let us know which abilities you think we missed out on. Let us know which one was your favorites. Don't forget to go to Sohan's channel and watch the video we made over there, and subscribe to both of our channels. Anyways, we hope you enjoyed the video, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.